course, are aware of the fact that in your early work, you were, to some, at least, in association with Dr. Sigmund Freud. And I know it would be of great interest to many of us to hear a little bit about how you happened to hear of Dr. Freud and how you happened to become involved with some of his work and ideas.
Well, as a matter of fact, it was in the year 1900, in December, soon after Freud's book about dream interpretation had come out, that I was asked by my chief, Professor Freud, to give a review of the book. I studied the book very attentively, and I didn't understand many things in it, which were clear to me. But from other parts, I got the impression that this man really knew what he was talking about, and I thought that this is certainly a masterpiece, full of future. And I had no idea then of ideas of my own. I was just it was just when I began my career as an assistant in the psychiatric clinic. And then I began with experimental psychology or psychopathology. I applied the experimental association method by and the same that has been applied in the Catholic psychiatric clinic in Munich,
what was I saying again?
Dr. Jung, to be quite honest with you, I was not paying attention very much to what you were saying. Perhaps the best course of action would be for us to begin from the beginning again.
Ah, yes. Proceed with your questions.
My first question is concerning your childhood. Could you please tell me about your childhood experience?
Yes, yes. Well, to start, I was born July 26, 1875. My father was a clergyman who had lost his faith. He was very moody and irritable. My mother, she was very ugly and fat. I would say she had a demonic personality and emotional disorders. As for me, I was isolated as a child. I was very lonely and unhappy. I learned very quickly not to trust my parents and also the rest of the world.
Dr. Jung, thank you for that brief introduction to your childhood. Perhaps now we can move on more to your academic career and perhaps some of your accomplishments in life.
Yes. To start, I studied at the University of Basel, Switzerland. In 1900, I graduated with my MD. I like psychiatry, so I went to, my first professional job was at a mental hospital in Zurich.
Mental hospital in Zurich. Dr. Jung, correct me if I am wrong, but is that where you studied under the direction of Dr. Eugene Bleuler?
Yes, the most famous psychiatrist who studied schizophrenia. In 1905, to further what I was saying, of course, 1905, I was appointed lecturer of psychiatry in Zurich, but I soon resigned from that position.
It is such a high grade position for you to have as lecturer in psychiatry in Zurich. Your resignation there appears to make me stumble. Perhaps you could explain to me why you found it appropriate to resign from your position.
I wanted to dedicate more time to other interests. I was a big fan of religion at that time.
Religion?
Yes.
Very interesting. What else?
Also, I wanted to spend time to my private practice and, of course, my research.
Very interesting, Dr. Jung. This is a little aside and just out of curiosity. When you gave your patient's therapy, did you allow them to lie down on the couch?
No. Unlike Freud, I never like to take my patients to bed.
Dr. Jung, perhaps you could tell me more about you and Freud and some of your work with him.
Yes. I remember that in 1900 I had first read his book, Interpretations of Dreams. But 1906, we had first met in Vienna. We talked for 13 hours the first time we met. I remember it like it was yesterday. Is there not supposed to be a clip here?
A clip, Dr. Jung? I do not believe so. Perhaps we should refer to the script.
Brilliant, brilliant. Page 2. I have my copy.
Page 2. Dr. Jung, you are right again.
What else is new, huh? Shooting clip!
Dr. Jung, your relationship with Freud was definitely something beautiful. The only thing that comes to my mind now is what could have possibly have gone wrong between the two of you?
The man, Sigmund Freud, he was too orthodox. When I released my book in 1912 on the psychology of the unconscious, I repeated over and over that the libido was not only a sexual energy, but it was a life energy as well. We did not see eye to eye, so we broke up.
After your breakup with Dr. Freud, what did you do with your life?
Well, from 1913 to 1919, I entered a, well, you could say a creative illness stage, where I did most of my thinking, and I came up with most of my ideas on unconscious structures. I eventually came out with my most famous book in 1921 called Psychological Types.
Interesting.
I then, after completion of the book, I traveled to Africa, where I studied, and I noticed that all cultures shared mostly the basic same ideas.
Mhm.
It was most remarkable.
And after your traveling around Africa and other nations, what did you do?
In 1932, I came back to Zurich, where I held a position of professorship at Zurich.
Interesting.
And now I am here.
Now you're here. Dr. Freud, on behalf of the entire psychology faculty, I would like to thank you very much for this wonderful yet rare interview with the man, the legend.
Don't ever call me Dr. Freud again. Get out!
I was 5 and he was 6. We rode on horses made of sticks. He wore black and I wore white. He would always win the fight. Bang, bang, he shot me down. Bang, bang, I hit the ground. Bang, bang, that awful sound. Bang, bang, my baby shot me down. Seasons came and changed the time. When I grew up, I called him mine. He would always laugh and say, remember when we used to play? Bang, bang, I shot you down. Bang, bang, you hit the ground. Bang, bang, that awful sound. Bang, bang, I used to shoot you down. Music played and people sang. Just for me, the church bells rang.
Our story begins with our young friend Alfred Adler. Born to a wealthy family in the suburbs of Vienna, our young hero was not so fortunate. You know, when looking back at his life, young Adler was puny and unattractive. And his bully, Hans Schmitzel, gave him no easy time about it. Despite working hard in order to gain the acceptance from his peers, he was overall a poor student. At one occasion, his teacher had claimed that the only job he was fit for was a shoemaker's apprentice. However, this didn't stop our young hero from working his way to the top. And so in 1985, he accomplished what no one thought accomplishable. He received his MD at the University of Vienna. Soon, Adler was to join Freud's weekly discussion group. In all honesty, it was just 4 members. Even though they worked together, Freud and Adler had no personal relationship. Practical jokes were a way of life. Rising again, Adler was to be named president of the Vienna Psychoanalytic Society, where Wiener Schnitzels were served every Friday. However, every great rise has a fall. In 1911, the inevitable happened. Freud and Adler had a fight. As Adler described Freud as a swiner and psychoanalysis as filth. And Freud called Adler abnormal and driven by ambition. This would not be the end of Adler. He served as a physician during World War I. During the 1920s, his theory of individual psychology attracted many followers, some of which really need help. His frequency of lecturing in the U.S. eventually led to him being appointed as a professor of medical psychology at the New York Long Island Institute. And so Adler continued lecturing. But while on a strenuous speaking tour in Aberdeen, Scotland, he met his maker.